the gubernatorial election this November, there's a lot at stake for our schools, the environment, and the welfare of our city's people. So I'm glad to see everyone here to take a close look at some of the candidates for office. I'm going to hand it off to Holly, who's going to explain a little bit about how, what the format of the debate is going to look like, and how we're both going to be playing bad cop on timing.
Hi, I'm Holly Otterbein. Yes, I'm here to be the bad cop and tell you that we are going to adhere to the time constraints that I'm about to set out. So we are going to give each candidate 1 minute and 30 seconds to respond to each question. And if we do have time, we will do a lightning round of shorter questions at the very end, which will give you about a minute to respond to. We're also going to give you a minute and a half to introduce yourselves right now. So we'll start with you, Treasurer McCord.
Thanks. I want to thank all of you for carving your time out of personal time, and thank you, the sponsoring organizations. Listen, you'll hear a lot about substance, but one of the things that people talked about here was what's in your heart, what motivates you. I do want the many friends in this audience to know that this is a deeply personal race for me. Pennsylvania public education rescued me. My mom went through a very tough time in California after she was divorced when I was 4. She almost got evicted. A union helped her keep that house. And after she got her PhD at a relatively late age, in her late 30s, she almost went to New York, but was persuaded by a man an openly gay man, and he was openly gay before Stonewall. In 1968 said, you've got to check out Pennsylvania, a place then called Drexel Institute of Technology. We have a good job, but even more important, we have a great school district right nearby. And I went from undiagnosed dyslexia and the slow reading group to thinking I got to be smarter than this, right? And eventually getting lifted, getting to go to Harvard with a ton of financial aid, getting to lead the American dream, getting to help not just be financially secure, but help create thousands of jobs in a lot of different industries. Then I got to be your treasurer, but I know if we're going to defend working people and working families, we have to defeat and evict Tom Corbett and start investing again in public education.
Secretary McGinty, I believe, is next.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks to all of you for coming out today and having us here. And as a proud daughter of Northeast Philadelphia, I am glad to be home. I'm thinking of the many hours in Solly Playground. I can still take it to the hoop, by the way. Two things motivate and inspire me in this race. Rob referred to one. It's about working families. I'm also the proud daughter of a policeman and a woman who took care of 10 kids all day long and then went to her second shift working as a hostess in a restaurant at night. I value and honor hard work, and I know that anybody who works hard should not live in poverty. We can and we will do better. So I am here for education, healthcare, paying people a decent wage, driving and giving people the opportunity they deserve. But the second thing that motivates and inspires me is that Pennsylvania can be that leading state, a state that is showing positive example to the world, not a spotlight because we have massively defunded our schools, or a spotlight because we're dead last in jobs. When I was Secretary of Environmental Protection, Pennsylvania was looked to as a leader, #1 in wind energy and solar energy, a beacon of the positive things we can do. So it's for the working person that I'm here, but because that working person can build a beautiful Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.
Congresswoman Schwarts.
Well, good afternoon. I see a lot of friends in the audience. I see a lot of people. We've worked together when I ran a nonprofit here in Philadelphia, and I think a few have even sent your kids to school with mine in the Philadelphia schools. So good to be with you this afternoon. Many of you, you know me. And I'm running for governor because, in fact, Tom Corbett and his failed leadership is hurting us here in Philadelphia, hurting us across the state. It's hurting our families, and it's hurting our future. Now, a colleague of mine once said to me when I was in the state Senate that I was awfully nice, but damn determined. And you know what? He was right. I have been really determined to get things done, to find solutions, to make a difference in people's lives. That's what drives me. It's what has defined me, and it is a record of accomplishment and a record of achievement for families in Pennsylvania that you know me for. Maybe it was when I was only 26 and I started the Women's Health Center, the Blackwell Health Center, making sure women had access to health coverage, or heading the Department of Human Services here in Philadelphia at a time of real crisis in the city, or whether it is having been elected the third woman in the state Senate, or the only woman, serving as the only woman in the congressional delegation from Pennsylvania. I know we can do big things. I know that Pennsylvania is a great state with great future. The fact is that we need a very different kind of governor. I intended your next governor to be that different kind of governor, fight the status quo, get something done, and as a woman, I know I can do it.
And Auditor General Wagner.
Thank you, and thank you, Gloria Gilman, for putting this together and making sure I was here. And thank you all for being here. This is an exceptional turnout, and one in which I hope is indicative of the turnout in the May primary and the fall election. And that has been a problem in Pennsylvania at times. But certainly, if we are going to change the direction of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we really need your support. We need to make sure all of you go to the polls, and your family and your friends and your coworkers. I'm honored to be up here today as a candidate for governor. I'm Jack Wagner. I'm your former Auditor General, dissimilar from the other good candidates that are here today. I'm not from southeastern Pennsylvania. I'm from Pittsburgh, 300 miles away, where I live with my wife Nancy and our son Luke and our daughter Sarah. Our son Luke recently joined the Navy, left 3 weeks ago. Our daughter Sarah is a sophomore in college. You probably know a little bit about me as the former Auditor General of Pennsylvania, the fiscal watchdog. And I'm also honored to state a quote from a former mayor of the city of Philadelphia and the Governor Rendell when he said, "Jack Wagner is a pain in the butt." And he meant that because of the great job I did as Auditor General keeping an eye on your taxpayer dollars. I know state government and I know it well. And if anyone in this room thinks we don't need a change in state government, you're from another planet. We're all together in making certain that happens.